3 nations ban Americans from entering into their countries in retaliation to Trump travel curbs. Putin allies Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso strike back at U.S. Big boost for Russian outreach, setback to America's regional influence. Big retaliation by Western African nations, Mali and Burkina Faso, after U.S. President Donald Trump on December 16 added them to the list of those subject to a full travel ban. The 2 West African countries announced reciprocal visa bans for citizens of the United States. Mali and Burkina Faso said they were acting in the name of reciprocity. The message is clear: U.S. nationals are not welcomed. Mali said Washington's decision to add it to the travel ban list had been taken without prior consultation, and that the stated rationale was not justified by actual developments on the ground. Mali's Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation said U.S. citizens traveling to the country would experience the same conditions and requirements as those imposed by the American authorities on Malian citizens entering the United States. Burkina Faso, too, said it was applying equivalent visa measures to citizens of the United States of America, and emphasized that it remains committed to mutual respect, the sovereign equality of states, and the principle of reciprocity in its international relations. Mali and Burkina Faso are not the first countries to take such measures affecting U.S. citizens. On December 25th, neighboring Niger announced it would stop issuing visas to U.S. citizens. And months before that, Chad announced suspension of visa issuance to U.S. citizens in June of 2025 after it was included on an earlier list of 12 countries affected by a travel ban. It is to be noted that Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger are now ruled by military governments that have pushed out French and U.S. forces and moved closer to Moscow. The White House noted persistent attacks by armed groups as one of the reasons for the travel ban. Trump's announcement came on December 16, adding 7 more countries, as well as the holders of the Palestinian Authority documents, to a list of countries whose nationals were fully and limited from entering the U.S. The White House said the restrictions would remain in place until affected countries show credible improvements in identity management, information sharing, and cooperation with U.S. immigration authorities.
In a major escalation in America's immigration crackdown, the Trump administration has widened its travel ban to more than 30 countries. The move follows the arrest of an Afghan national after a deadly shooting. 2 National Guard troops were wounded over the Thanksgiving weekend. The White House says the risk is real and the response is immediate. The Trump administration argues the system is being exploited. Officials cite weak vetting, unreliable documents, and deep corruption. They point to visa overstays, deportation refusals, and collapsing state control. The message from Washington tonight is blunt: entry will be denied. The new proclamation dramatically expands an earlier travel ban. In June, the administration targeted 12 countries outright. 7 others faced partial entry restrictions under tighter scrutiny. Now, the list has grown following what officials call fresh intelligence. The proclamation says many governments cannot be trusted to verify identity. It claims criminal histories are missing, falsified, or simply unavailable. Some nations are accused of refusing to accept deported citizens. Others are labeled unstable with limited government authority. The White House insists this is not a blanket ban. Lawful permanent residents remain exempt from the order. Existing visa holders will not be retroactively barred. athletes, diplomats, and select categories are carved out. However, the order tightens family-based visa exemptions. Officials say fraud risks have been repeatedly documented. Case-by-case waivers remain for national interest exceptions, but the default position is now rejection, not approval.
I don't want them in our country. Their country's no good for a reason. Their country stinks, and we don't want them in our country. I could say that about other countries too. I can say it about other countries too. We don't want them to hell. We have to rebuild our country. You know, our country's at a tipping point. We could go bad. We're at a tipping point. I don't know if people mind me saying that, but I'm saying it. We could go one way or the other, and we're going to go the wrong way if we keep taking in garbage into our country. Ilhan Omar is garbage. She's garbage. Her friends are garbage. These aren't people that work. These aren't people that say, let's go, come on, let's make this place great. These are people that do nothing but complain. They complain. And from where they came from, they got nothing. You know, they came from paradise, and they said, this isn't paradise. But when they come from hell, and they complain, and do nothing but bitch, we don't want them in our country. Let them go back to where they came from and fix it.
And we are doing our targeted enforcement operations against criminal illegal aliens. Individuals that are in that area may be detained until we verify who they are, and then they are released. This has been done for years, and every single law enforcement operation that has always happened, we follow the same protocols, and we continue to do that. We have never once detained or deported an American citizen. We have not held them and charged them. When we find out and verify their identity, then that is when they are released. You also asked about ICE agents going far enough. Sir, I will tell you that every single ICE agent, CBP agent, federal law enforcement officer that's out there doing their work every day, none of them will rest until our communities are safe. None of them will rest until terrorists,
Secretary, no, it is a fact that you ignored federal orders.
And our children and our grandchildren can grow up.
Let me
in a
reclaim my
country that
time
truly
here,
is
please.
safe.
The proclamation keeps full restrictions on 12 original countries. These nations remain categorized as high risk by U.S. authorities. The administration says these states fail basic vetting standards. It argues their systems cannot reliably confirm traveler identity. 5 new countries are added to the full restriction list. Officials say recent assessments triggered the escalation. The order also covers individuals holding Palestinian Authority travel documents. This inclusion has already sparked international concern. 2 countries previously under partial limits now face total restrictions. The administration says cooperation failed to meet U.S. requirements. Officials say compliance benchmarks were not achieved. As a result, entry limitations have been fully enforced. Partial restrictions continue for 4 previously listed nations. These countries face tighter screening and limited visa access. 15 additional countries are newly placed under partial restrictions. The move significantly widens the scope of the travel clampdown. The administration says these states present moderate risk factors. Officials cite overstays, document fraud, and weak cooperation. The White House says this travel ban is about security, not politics. Officials insist the United States lacks enough information to assess risks posed by some foreign nationals. They argue the restrictions are essential to protect national security, public safety, and counterterrorism interests. The White House says it is the president's duty to ensure those entering America will not harm its people. After consultations with cabinet officials and intelligence agencies, President Trump approved tighter limits. The decision follows fresh country-specific reviews under executive orders and updated security assessments. President Trump says restoring travel restrictions fulfills a core campaign promise. The White House notes the Supreme Court previously upheld such bans as lawful and necessary. The administration says this is about one message only: making America safe again.